All right, if you want to read this article, you can do so at justinstellman.com/A12. Here are 7 tips that college graduates should know before taking a job. First and foremost, I have to say that this is an article I wish I had read when I first finished my formal education. You finally completed what was arguably one of the most difficult things you've ever set out to do, graduate college. Going to college is almost like a rite of passage for today's kids. It's quite an accomplishment for today's ADD and ADHD kids to complete college, so congratulations. Hopefully, you aren't in any kind of debt as a result of the past 4 or 5 years. If that's the case, I have something I'd love to share with you. One of the things I see a lot, and it happened to me, is that when people graduate college, some are very focused and disciplined, and as such, they know exactly what they want to do. Other children, upon graduation, have absolutely no idea what they want to do with their lives, and I hope the latter doesn't describe you. I'm going to share some ideas no matter what camp you fall into here. Oftentimes, I see college graduates taking the first opportunity that comes their way. Maybe a few weeks after graduation, when things have settled down, you're offered a job in a local factory starting at $100,000 per year. Now, that's an incredible wage for a novice right out of college with basically no work experience. So you take it, knowing you have zero interest in what that company does, but you do it for the money. As a result of doing this, a small part of you dies. It's even worse when you are morally opposed to the company you work for, but you continue working there because you need the money. It's important to realize what you want and what you don't want, regardless of what the salary is. I realize it's challenging to turn down a job that pays so well right out of college. Many people, mostly folks from older generations coming from a lack mentality, will tell you that if you don't know what you want to do, why not take a high-paying job until you can figure it out? So the problem here with that is the issue of time, energy, and money. The issue of time is an important factor. Most likely a job with a salary package that high will be a full-time job. These types of sort of, quote, career jobs will also assume you put in hours on the weekends, after work, when you go home, and during holidays as well. So where are you going to find the time to focus on what you really want? The money is a nice lure to keep you trapped and dependent on that job to facilitate the new lifestyle to which you've grown accustomed. Now, the other issue is energy. Energy is hard to decouple from time in this particular scenario. When time is spent, so is energy. When you do have, quote, time off from your job, will you have the energy to devote to something that you actually enjoy? Or will you have to spend most of your off time sleeping and recovering from such a demanding work schedule? This happens to many people. They drift along down the river of their lives, not having any real clear direction of where they want to go. Not only that, but they don't really know what it is that they want to do. So there you are with no passion and no direction. Having neither does not bode well for you. So here are some ideas to ponder in that regard. Number 1, find your passion. Finding what it is that drives you should be your primary number 1 goal in your life. You should devote much of your free time to the fulfillment of that understanding. Ideally, it's best to do this when you're in high school or enrolled in college. But with that said, it's never too late to discover or rediscover your passion. It doesn't matter if you're 10 years old or 110 years old. Don't let society dictate to you the terms about what makes your creative energies flow. Here are some questions to ask yourself. Number 1, what did you like to do when you were a child? Number 2, what activity or interest can you spend endless time on without being tired? What excites you? What makes time fly by when you're engaged in that task? What makes your blood boil? What causes you to want to help a specific group of people? Are you involved in any causes right now that you feel strongly about? How would you like to spend your time? What types of people would you like to meet as a result of doing the work you love to do? What would you like to see change in your local community or society at large? What are your natural talents? Sometimes people find their passion as a result of feeling strongly about an issue. Some examples of those include helping people overcome sickness by becoming a doctor or a naturopath, or helping the homeless and setting up a shelter. If you feel strongly about an issue you feel that can be changed, then maybe that's your calling. On the flip side, you might be drawn to a particular hobby you had as a child. Maybe you like to draw or work on graphical design. Maybe you really enjoyed baseball and you love to be a writer for a pro sports team. If you're genetically gifted and have incredible work ethic coupled with a smattering of good luck, you might even be able to play professional sports as a career. But for most of us, that's not the case. What I would encourage you to do is to find a way to pay your bills in the least amount of time spent working as possible. If you can do it part-time, then don't work full-time. Spend the remainder of your time focusing inwardly on what makes you tick. Start by answering some or all of the questions above. You don't want to get into a situation where all your time and energy are being used up by a job you don't enjoy. That's a death trap. Number 2, set up your life with intention. If you are unsure of what it is you actually want to do, ask yourself how you want to structure your time. Do you want to get paid hourly or would you like to have a salary? Do you like taking risks or are you more of a company man or woman? Do you like to control your time? Do you like to travel? Do you want a family? How would you like to structure your days? For me, I've set up systems in place where I earn money all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of holidays or weekends. I've created evergreen content that people can benefit from for years into the future. I'll wake up and find out I made $500 during my sleep. To me, this is the smartest way to earn a living. Put systems in place that work for you when you are not working. This way, I get to control my time. I spend time with Kate if I want, or I can go to the beach during the middle of the day if I so desire. The most important thing for me is to control my time, earn money doing the things I love and helping people overcome their problems. The more I help people, the more I learn. It's a beautiful way to earn money. All actors, singers, and entertainers work using this model as well. They'll spend months or years on a project only to have it earn money for them for the rest of their lives. Smart. Number 3, know what you don't want. What don't you want? Do you want to avoid an office job sitting at a cubicle waiting for the clock to tick faster so you can leave as soon as the clock says 5 p.m.? I've been there, so I know exactly what that's like. I vowed to myself to never allow myself to get in that situation ever again. We are either motivated by something negative or something positive. If you're able to have a career that contains both of these elements, you're on the right track. For example, I don't want to be poor and work in an office job making somebody else rich, but I also want to love what I do and help people by creating content that is free and available all day long. It's important to know exactly what you do not want or what you will not stand for when it comes to the work that you now do or choose to do in the future. All that we have is our time, and if we cannot be in control of how we spend our days, what can we really be in control of? Number 4, take your time. There is no rush to find your passion. Whatever you do, do not compare yourself to friends or family who seem to have it all together. Maybe consider getting off Facebook so you don't feel anxious when reading their status updates. And here's an insight. Just because they have what seems like a successful life doesn't mean they have it together and are completely fulfilled. Most likely, they're not that happy. It wasn't until I was 27 years old that I stumbled across something I actually called my career. I wanted to be in business for myself since I was in high school. It took me 9 years to finally figure out something I was really passionate about. Then it took another 10 years to actually start a business related to that passion. Don't compare yourself to friends or family, and don't let them put pressure on you. You are the master of your life, not them. Number 5, be cautious with opportunity. You're going to have lots of opportunity. People are going to tell you there are job openings here and there that all sound amazing. Opportunities are going to abound. When we're young, we often think that we can't pass up opportunity because it might not ever present itself again. The mindset that a particular opportunity won't come back around again comes from a lack mentality. That lack mentality worked well 75,000 years ago when we had to hunt for food and sometimes there wasn't enough to go around. But that mentality doesn't work well in a world where all things are possible through instant communication via the internet. The truth is, if you keep searching and remaining patient and vigilant, the perfect opportunity will come your way. It won't be a good opportunity. It will be the right one for you. So for you, it will be perfect. Number 6, take risks. On the flip side, it's important to take risks, but make them calculated. Don't risk money on things you aren't sure about. Don't risk your time if you know something isn't exactly what you want. But do take risks by forcing yourself into social situations where you might feel a little bit uncomfortable. You never know who you might meet. Perhaps you might meet a potential soulmate, business partner, friend, or even employer. Take risks by trying and learning new things. Purposely expose yourself to new information and new ideas. Take classes and learn new skills. You never know what you might end up enjoying and what hidden talents lie within you. Kate has taken interior design classes, guitar lessons, sailing courses, cooking classes, and tons more. I've taken classes on being an electrician, computer programming, design, and many other things. None of them worked out, but nonetheless, they were invaluable in teaching me what I was good at, what I liked, and what I didn't like. You can only know that about yourself by trying something new. Number 7, avoid debt. Debt, depending on how you look at it, can either help you build real wealth, or it can paralyze not just your growth, but put you into a perpetual financial servitude. If you are looking to build wealth or a business, you'll want to look at debt as something different altogether. For those reasons, it's possible to leverage debt. But if you are simply buying the latest trinkets for your home or car, you're racking up debt that's not going to serve you. You can't leverage that kind of debt to make a profit. Oftentimes, I'll see someone fresh out of college and they get a job that's completely unaligned with who I know their character to be. They're so excited about starting this new corporate job. The pay is great, the hours are flexible, and for the first 6 months, they really enjoy it. Then they start to accumulate credit card debt on things they should have never bought on credit. They start buying things they don't need because they have a well-paying job. Then all of a sudden, they get laid off and have no way of paying back that debt. As a result, they have to find another soul-sucking job that doesn't even pay what they were making before, only to pay off things they bought which largely go unused. This is what sucks the life out of every generation of people who enter the workforce bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They have such high hopes, and then the grim reaper of debt and responsibility come knocking, and it's lights out for their creative potential. If you can do one thing, it's don't get into what I call irresponsible debt, even if you think you can pay it off. It's simply not worth it. Conclusion. As I said at the beginning, I really wish somebody would have given me this advice when I finished school. Don't forget to ask yourself how you want to live. How do you want to spend your time? Do you want to make enough money to get by, or do you want to make a lot of money? Do you want to work for yourself or for somebody else? Even if you don't know what your actual passion is, you can still figure out how you want to spend your days. Everybody knows how they want to spend their time. I would recommend writing all of your core ideals down into a manifesto that you set up for your life. Is there any more worthy cause for which to write a manifesto than your very life? This way, when amazing opportunities come your way that are really hard to pass up, you can weigh them against your core values you've already written down. It'll allow you to insert a little bit of intention into your decision-making process. Realize that you have time. It's your life, and you get to choose what ultimately makes you happy. Take a little bit of time and orchestrate your life. Once you have that laid out, you can then write out your core values. Once you have those things in place, come up with an actual game plan of how you want to execute your goals and where you want your life to go. And when you combine all three of these things, orchestrating your life, writing your core values, and developing a plan of execution, as soon as you combine those with your intention of what you want your life to be about, saying yes or no to potential opportunities becomes super easy. Making a big decision like this now becomes easy because you're no longer tossed to and fro with the changing winds of opportunity. You now have a framework or an ethos of what direction you're going. Using that framework to be the guidepost for all of your future decisions makes it really easy to say yes or no to potential opportunities. So if you would like to comment, check out the links or the images and videos related to this particular article, you can do so at